Hey mama, if you're running on coffee, feeling foggy, exhausted, and already overwhelmed before the day even starts, you're not alone. So many moms are doing all the right things for their health and they still feel tired, frustrated, and confused by all the noise out there. Hi, I'm Jerusha, holistic wellness coach, wife, and mom, and I've been there. I spent years in survival mode, relying on caffeine and willpower, wondering what was wrong with my body, until God showed me something that changed everything. A woman's body isn't broken, it's beautifully designed to thrive. This is where we ditch the world's way of health, cut through the noise, and bust the myths that have kept women stuck and exhausted. Together, we'll uncover simple, life-giving truths about women's health the way God designed it, so you can find clarity, hope, real energy, and confidence for motherhood and the calling God's placed on your life. If you're ready to rise into the health you were created for, you're in the right place. It all starts right now. Hello, mamas. Welcome back to the podcast and welcome to January. It's that time of year when the whole world is talking about weight loss. When I started this show, I specifically didn't make it about weight loss. The number one motivation to get healthy is to lose weight. And so weight loss is highly marketable. That's why people make it all about weight loss, because just getting healthy is kind of vague in itself. A lot of people are motivated by losing weight. And so a lot of people put the focal point of being healthy around weight loss. It's because it's highly marketable. It's easy to draw people in because what they desire is to lose weight. But as a Christian woman and mom, I knew that there was so much more to my desire to be healthy besides weight loss. I mean, I want to feel better in my body. I want to be strong. I want to have better energy, be able to wake up refreshed in the morning, beat brain fog, find my motivation and excitement for life again, go hiking with my boys without feeling out of breath or worn down halfway through. I want to be able to walk through the zoo all day, 10,000 plus steps, and not feel like I got hit by a bus. I want to be pregnant and feel like I can still show up for my family without being drained every minute of the day. Being healthy encompasses so much of our life, and it's about feeling good again. But with that being said, there have been times where I have wanted to lose weight too. Usually it's been after a pregnancy, which is like 2 years after, or after a stressful season when I ate what was convenient and not what was good for me, or when I just got tired of not fitting in my clothes or trying to hide my tummy. I wanted to feel confident again, and I wanted getting dressed in the morning to feel easy. Not to mention the fact that we all just came out of a stack of months where we were stressed and eating more sugar and indulging because of the holidays. And even if weight loss has not been a priority for you most of the time, you may still find yourself in a place where you're like, yeah, I could lose a little bit of weight and I would feel really good about that right now. Weight loss is not bad. I don't believe that it should be like the center of our lives. I don't believe that being skinny fixes everything for us. In fact, there are many thin people who still have health problems. And as we're going to talk about today, losing weight does not solve all of your health problems. But losing weight can be a healthy motivator, and there is a really healthy way to do it. And spoiler alert, it doesn't involve any of the crazy weight loss tactics that the world is talking about. So let's dive into this conversation a little bit more because I want to talk about what the world is discussing, what they're pushing at us, what they're telling us it takes to lose weight, I want to bust those myths for you. I want to lift the stress off of you from the intensity of what it feels like it requires for us to do that. And I want to get to the root issue of what it means to lose weight in a healthy way, in a sustainable way, and in a God honoring way. So let's dive into that conversation. I walked into Sam's Club the first week of January, and the whole front aisle was protein based. Protein powder, protein drinks and shakes, protein bars, even protein chips. Okay? If no one has told you yet, let me say it. Protein chips are not a healthy choice. They might be a little bit healthier than maybe regular chips, but let me tell you, they are overpriced and they are not doing you any favors, mama. Okay, they're not boosting your health. So don't be fooled by the protein chips. You also can't turn on the TV without seeing at least one GLP-1 commercial or a Facebook or Pinterest ad just screaming in your face, even if you don't even look it up online, even if there's no algorithm that's directing you toward that, those ads are going out to everybody right now. Everywhere we look, we're bombarded with the world's idea of health. They tell us we need ultra protein, we need to build muscle, be lean, like beach body skinny. We need medication, like the GLP 1s and Ozempic. We need to participate in starvation by cutting out multiple food groups and being super intense. When we work out, we need to be super intense. And when we do all of these things and we take the medications and we are super intense, then we can lose weight really, really fast. And maybe even really, really easy. Because the more food you give up, the more weight you'll lose. All you need to do is eat less and work out more, right? And you need to do both of those in a really extreme way. And if you're miserable, it's okay because you're going to look good really soon. If you're not seeing results, all you need to do is just take medication. Right? This is the message that is being bombarded at us from every direction in some shape or form. And there are so many people telling us what to do, what to eat, what to cut out, and it can feel so overwhelming. It can feel incredibly discouraging because, oh my gosh, how miserable is your life about to get? And then it can feel so discouraging because you're like, can I do this? And then when you decide to do it, you may feel like you have to put a limit on how long you're going to do this because you know it's not sustainable. It's so intense. It's so insane. It's going to require so much of you that you're going to have to put a limit on how long you do this because you know at some point you're not going to be able to keep it up any longer. The very essence of a weight loss and the intensity that it feels like it will require from us feels unsustainable at its very core. This is the world's idea of a weight loss, and we either reject it or we try it. Or if you're like me, you try it and then you reject it. Trust me, I have been there. I've tried so many things. I have been super intense. I've been the person who believed that I was never going to eat carbs ever again because I was so desperate to feel better. And if you are there, mama, I want to tell you there is hope. There is hope for you. You can do this in a sustainable way and you can feel good again without sacrificing your whole life and any happiness that food has ever brought you. Let's talk about the number one mindset that I feel like is so common in mainstream media that we really have to overcome before we can really achieve healthy, lasting weight loss. And it all comes down to the way we view our weight. We think if I lose weight, I'll be healthy. But what we should be saying is if I get healthy, I'll lose weight. The world treats weight like an isolated issue. And it's true that at some point your weight really can cause issues, but more often than not, the truth is that the weight is a symptom of underlying issues in your body that never get addressed in mainstream media or a doctor's office. Holistic wellness understands that weight is a symptom of those underlying health needs. Now, the issue might be as simple as you're consuming more energy than you're using. Okay, that kind of idea that you're taking in too many calories. And if you listen to the episode about calories in our macro myths series, you know that I really do not like counting calories. But that idea there is that you're eating more energy than your body is using. And as moms, that can be really easy to do. I mean, if you are snacking a lot, if you're comfort eating lots of carb heavy foods, if you're not being really intentional about the nutrition that you're getting into your body and you're kind of just eating what's available and what's convenient and snacking on things, maybe even your kids' food throughout the day, it can be really easy to just kind of accidentally finding yourself taking in more calories, more energy than you're actually exerting in a day. And so that can cause some weight gain. But I find that with women, the more relevant issue is actually that you're eating poor quality food and you're lacking really key nutrients for your body. The point of eating is to get nutrition. And so if you're consuming food that's low in real nutrients, which is easy to do with foods that are high in carbohydrates, then your body will store fat and tell you to eat more because your body isn't looking for volume. Your body is actually looking for nutrients. And this is one of the biggest ways to overcome cravings is to eat high nutrient dense food. It'll actually train your body to turn off the hunger receptors in your brain because you're getting so many nutrients in less food that your body will stop asking for more. So when we're eating carb heavy foods that are low in nutrients, we start storing fat, we're still hungry, and we kind of get caught in the cycle of cravings because our body is looking for something more. So, our issues could really stem from something as simple as eat less carbs, eat more nutrient dense food. Eating more nutrient dense food is always the number one way to lose weight, feel healthy, bust brain fog, and feel amazing in your body. Eating nutrient dense food is the number one way to start. But if your issue goes deeper, then we need to take a look at some other things going on inside your body, like your hormones. Balancing your hormones can be a huge factor in losing weight. And we're actually going to dive into this a little bit more in an episode about healing your metabolism, which I'm just so excited to talk about because metabolism is not what you think it is. It's not what they make it sound like. And so I'm really excited to get into that. And a big part of that is balancing your hormones. So we're going to dive into that conversation. But your hormones play a huge part in your weight loss. In fact, you have hormones that help you lose weight, and you have hormones that actually block you from losing weight. And if your hormones are all out of whack, it can literally block you from losing weight. One of the number one ways you can see that happen is if you have really high insulin levels. If you are struggling with insulin resistance and your glucose levels are really high, it can literally block you from weight loss. And let me tell you, if you think that you are not struggling with insulin and glucose because you're not diabetic or even pre diabetic, let me tell you, mama, this is a nationwide epidemic that is affecting so many women. And the truth is that they don't think there's a problem, so they're never paying attention to it. And they're missing out on a huge part of stewarding their health because a doctor says that they're not diabetic, so they think that they don't have to pay attention to this part of their body. Let me tell you something. If you have ever taken the pink drink from Plexus, if you've ever felt like a GLP-1 would help you, or the Ozempic medication, if you have tried any of those, and if you've ever felt like they worked, let me tell you, those are all based on helping you manage your insulin levels. Okay? They are treating a cause that they say, here, if you take this, you'll feel better. They don't tell you why. They don't tell you that there are many other healthy, natural ways to help you manage your insulin and glucose levels and to build insulin sensitivity in your body and build your health on a cellular level. They're not telling you that. They're just saying, take this product and you'll feel better. And what's happening is that everybody is flocking to these, and I'm primarily talking about the injection medications that everybody is going after right now. I really don't think there's anything wrong with the pink drink other than the fact that it's really expensive. And I wouldn't ever want to be like fully dependent on just that, even though it could be a helpful tool in a season when you're trying to heal and repair your body. But these medications that people are taking, nobody's thinking I'm insulin resistant and I need help. And this is why I have brain fog. And this is why I feel like I can't function in the evenings. And this is why I can't lose weight. All they know is I take the drug and I'm dependent upon that to help me lose weight, to help me feel better, to help me manage my health because I can't do it on my own. And I never want anybody to feel like they are dependent upon a medication or even a health product to feel like they can manage their health. You can do these things naturally. And if you want something to help you give yourself a boost or a head start or just kind of assist you in the process, fine, do that. But I never want anybody to feel like I have to take this or I can't manage my health on my own. And the fact is that high insulin will literally keep you from losing weight. It will. So balancing our hormones is a huge part. Again, we're going to get into this in more detail, okay? But the number one thing you want to do is eat a nutrient dense diet. Number two, the thing that you want to do is move more. As moms, we think that if we're moving around a lot or we're busy, then we're also active. But being busy and being active are two different things. Just because we're running around all the time and we're not sitting on our butts eating bonbons and doing nothing doesn't mean that we are active. Working out will create a huge boost in your health. I used to believe that if I just ate really well, that I didn't really need to work out, but I was missing out on a huge part of building my health. Building muscle will help you burn more fat. And a lot of these medications, I hate to say it, but they actually drain your muscle mass. You do not want to lose weight by losing muscle. That is the worst way. In fact, it will damage your health so much and it will age you incredibly. It will cellularly age you years, if not decades, depending on the dose and how long you're taking them. They are ultimately damaging to your health. You may be thin, but it doesn't mean you're going to be healthy, okay? And so building muscle is one of the number one ways to build your health, to help you burn fat, to help you manage your insulin. And if you're doing all of those things and you're working out really well and you're crushing it in that area and you're still having a hard time losing weight, then there's a different reason. There's something else going on in your body that we need to take a look at. But if you're not working out, that is the number one way to help you lose weight in a healthy way and to ultimately build your health and longevity in so many ways. Okay, we're going to get into this too. I am just touching base on these things that we're going to be diving into really soon. So just stick with me. My third tip for how to help you lose weight in a healthy way is to fast. Now, this can get really tricky because this is not as easy as it seems. And again, we're going to have a full conversation about this. I know that some of you have a really hard time fasting. In fact, I used to never fast, even spiritually, let alone for my health, because it made me so sick and so miserable. And there are some nuances on how to fast. We're going to dive into this conversation later. What I want you to know right now is you can do intermittent fasting by starting to slowly increase the amount of hours that you're fasting overnight. So stop eating snacks at night, push back your breakfast a little bit further ahead, and that overnight fasting window, start to slowly increase that by 30 minutes to an hour, okay? And then slowly build up that way. If you go fully into fasting mode. If you think I've never fasted, but I'm gonna do a 3 to 5 day fast, I'm gonna do like a water fast or a juice cleanse, and you stop eating, you will feel like you're going to die. And you will starve your body, you will shock your body, and you will do more harm than good. So don't jump into fasting. This is something you actually train your body for so that you're burning fat, so that you feel amazing, so that you have incredible brain clarity and energy in the midst of it. And you're timing it to your hormones to make sure it's working for your body and not against it. As a woman, you have to be very intentional about how you fast in order to do it well. But if you want to start right now, start by very slow, gentle, intermittent fasting and start to get yourself in a rhythm of cutting back your window, stop eating snacks at night, push back your breakfast a little bit further. Don't put sugar in your coffee in the morning because that'll break your fast, even if you're not eating breakfast, and start slow. Fasting is truly a gift that God gave us to not just lose weight, but literally rebuild our bodies from the inside out. And we're going to learn how to fully take advantage of that technique too. Number 4 is to improve your gut health. And honestly, this one was hard to even put as number 4 because it's so essential to our overall health. Our gut health is important to balancing our hormones, but even more than that, even before that happens, our gut health is important to how we absorb nutrients. Okay, if you're eating a nutrient rich diet, if you have an expensive supplement stack that you're taking every day, every month, you have this huge bill for all these supplements and health products that you're putting in your body. If your gut health is out of whack, let me tell you, it's like flushing money down the toilet. It's doing nothing for you. You need a healthy gut in order to absorb all of those nutrients and actually do something with it in your body. And so a healthy gut is so, so important. Number 5 is take care of your liver. Let me tell you, everybody wants to go on a detox plan. They want to do crazy juice cleanses and all those things. And let me tell you, God gave your body a built in detox, which is your liver. And if you just take care of your liver, you don't need to do all these crazy weird diets. And I will save you hundreds of dollars from buying a juicing machine that isn't doing what you think it's doing for your body. Again, we're going to dive into that too, but taking care of your liver is so important. And here's why. Your liver is like the project manager of your body, okay? It touches on so many parts of your health. If your hormones are out of whack, if you have a high level of toxicity, if you're losing weight and losing fat, toxins are being flooded into your bloodstream, and something needs to happen with them so that your hormones also don't get out of balance and you're not suffering. If you're fasting, again, you're getting a toxic flush into your system. You need your liver working well. If you have thyroid issues, we need to take a look at your liver. If you have adrenal issues, we need to take a look at your liver. If you have excess estrogen, high estrogen in your body, we need to take a look at your liver. If you have insulin issues, you need your liver to be healthy. Nobody talks about their liver. And let me tell you, it is one of the secrets to longevity and health that nobody is talking about. And literally, God gave us this gift in our bodies to do all the things. And it doesn't take crazy diets or insane methods to take care of your liver. Honestly, the biggest thing it takes is consistency. It's not like when your phone is dying, you can just plug it in and be like, zap, zap, zap. Here we go. Full charge again. Liver's good to go. No, your liver builds slowly over time and it is regenerative. It can heal. It can get better at detoxing and managing your hormones and all the incredible things that it does, but it takes consistent care over time to really function at its best. So you don't need to do the crazy things. You just need to do the right things and you need to do them consistently. Number 6 is reduce your insulin, which we already talked about a little bit. It's one of the things that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about reducing their insulin, building their insulin sensitivity. But again, this is a root issue at women's health then nobody's talking about. And if you're trying to lose weight and your insulin is high, it's not going to happen. It's going to feel like an uphill battle. It's going to feel like, am I ever going to be able to move on with my life because I just want to lose the weight and be done with it? I just want to feel like I can enjoy foods again without restricting my diet from everything that's good ever. And I just want to feel like I can, live a normal life again. Insulin might be at the core issue of some of your weight loss issues. Okay. And we're going to dive into all of these different things in the weeks to come. So I want you to stick with me for these conversations. They're going to be so good. And I cannot wait to do this with you. So before we wrap up this conversation, I want to talk about what healthy weight loss looks like. Healthy weight loss doesn't always happen fast. If you listened to the last episode, and if you didn't, go back and listen to it because we talked about consistency and building slow. We talked about how in Psalms it tells us that God doesn't want us to build things fast. He wants us to build things slowly and consistently so that they last. Hey, we don't want fast, we want lasting change. We don't want to lose all of the weight and then gain it all back plus some by the end of the year. We want to lose weight. We want to figure out how to maintain it in a healthy, sustainable, joyful way where we still enjoy food, but we also feel amazing. And we want to keep that going throughout our life. We don't want to find ourselves up and down, up and down. We don't want to find ourselves in that easy come, easy go kind of mentality where we lose the weight really easily and then it comes back super fast and we lose all of that progress. We want to lose it slowly, healthily, and sustainably. And oftentimes that looks like losing 2 pounds a week. 2 pounds a week is a really healthy weight loss. That might look different for you depending on where you're at with your weight. And it depends on the composition of your weight. If you lose a lot of weight in the first couple weeks, it's probably because it was water weight and not fat. And that's okay. That's healthy. If you've had really stubborn weight, you have to know that you're going to have to be very consistent. You're going to have to be maybe a little bit more intense in the beginning on how you eat so that you can lose the weight. But when you do, you can learn how to kind of pull back from some of that intensity while still maintaining a very healthy diet that helps you maintain your weight. But in order to lose some of that weight, we're gonna have to kind of lean in. We're gonna kind of have to push into that intensity a little bit, but not in the way that the world tells you to. Okay. So there is some intention. There is a lot of discipline that can go into it, but it doesn't have to be what the world tells you. It doesn't have to include drugs, let me tell you. And if you have been super confused or if you have been interested in and wondering about and questioning if some of these weight loss drugs are worth it, like the GLP-1 or Ozempic or Wegovy or any of the other off-brand names. If you've been wondering about those and you have questions about it and you want me to do an episode specifically on those, let me know. I don't want to sit here and talk about it and kind of get on my, pedestal and talk about all the scientific aspects of it if nobody's interested. But if you are and you're wondering about it, I can definitely come on here and have a conversation so that you feel more empowered to make a decision as far as what that really looks like. The last thing that I want to mention in this conversation is that what I love about the conversations that are going to come up is that they're not all connected to weight loss. Earlier, I said it's not about if I lose weight, I'll be healthy. It's actually if I get healthy, I'll lose weight. If you resolve those underlying health issues, it could cause you to lose weight, whether you're trying or maybe even if you're not, because a lot of times weight is a symptom of the underlying health issues we have going on. And if you want to get healthy, if you want to beat brain fog, if you want to wake up feeling refreshed and amazing every day, if you want to have incredible energy, if you want to stop feeling like your body is dragging you down in life and making you feel exhausted and unmotivated and maybe even kind of depressed, because you're just struggling in your own body, I want to tell you that the things that we're going to talk about are more than weight loss. These are the core ideas of getting healthy and stewarding your health God's way, the way that He built us as women to live a thriving, incredible life. And it's not always about weight loss. So if you're not interested in weight loss and you're like, please don't make this the weight loss show, girl, I'm with you. Okay. These are all about understanding the underlying health issues. And sometimes those do affect our weight, but oftentimes they show up in even more ways, sometimes even our fertility. Even if you're not interested in being fertile, let me tell you, if you get your body in order and you start healing from the inside out, you'll find that you may lose weight. You may boost your fertility, even if you're not trying to, because you are aligning your body in the way that it was designed to operate. You're healing those paths that have been blocked by dysfunction and health issues that you didn't even know were happening underneath. And you're starting to get healthy in a way that feels amazing. And when you heal those paths in your body, let me tell you something, weight loss doesn't become such a struggle. And eating doesn't become so dysfunctional. I hear of so many women who get super intense and they lose weight, but then they feel like they have to be intense for forever or they'll gain it right back. And that's because sometimes those underlying health issues, those pathways in your body that needed to be healed, didn't actually get healed. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. And I don't want you to just lose weight. I want you to be healthy from the inside out. I want your body to function in the way that God designed you to function and to be healthy and to clear up health issues as well as maybe lose the weight if that's what you are after this year. And so we are going to talk about all the ways that the world is talking about health. We're going to bust those myths and we're going to dive in to what we should really be focusing on. We're going to dive into the true issues, those underlying issues, the things that nobody talks about so that we can lose weight in a healthy way and ultimately get healthy on every level. So if you were with me in that journey, mama, can you do me a favor? Can you share this podcast or this episode with a friend? Because I don't do things the way that culture does them, because I don't get on the bandwagon and make the show about weight loss or, the things that people are mostly talking about and mostly looking for on the internet. Guess what? It makes it harder for women to find this show because the algorithms don't even know what to do with what I'm talking about. They're like, I don't know what box you fit in. I don't know how to plug you into the algorithm. I don't know how to put you into mainstream media because you are an outlier to what everybody else is doing. Because I refuse to follow what the world says about health, it makes it harder for women to follow this show. It makes it harder for this to pop up in other people's feeds, whether it's, Apple Podcasts or Google or Pinterest or wherever. And so if you think that this is a valuable conversation that more women need to hear about, please share it with your friends, share it on social media. Let's get the message out so that we can bring in other women, empower them in their health, empower them in their God-given right and destiny to be healthy and energetic and on fire for God and not depleted and defeated, because that's not where God wants us to be. And He certainly doesn't want us to be confused about the way that He created us or our bodies as women. And so I would so appreciate that. Also, another thing that you can do to incredibly help this podcast is to leave a rating and review. Okay, I really didn't ask for this a lot in season 1. I was really just focused on getting my rhythm in the show. But let me tell you, having ratings and reviews would really help this show a lot. And so if you could take just a few minutes out of your day to do that, that would help so much. I am on a mission to help women feel empowered in their health. And I would love it if you would come alongside me and help me in that mission by doing just these simple things. I cannot wait to dive into next week's conversation. Mama, stick with me because it's going to be so good. And again, if you want to hear about something specific, make sure to go onto my website and leave me either a voice message or a written message about what you want to hear next, how you felt confused by mainstream media, what myths you want me to bust about the health and wellness industry. And I cannot wait to pick up this conversation in the next episode. Be blessed, Mama. We'll talk soon. Mama, my prayer is that today's episode reminded you that your health matters to God and that caring for your body is part of living out who He created you to be. When we place our hope in Him and lean into His design for women's health, we don't just feel better. We stop guessing, stop striving, and begin moving forward with confidence and purpose. We're not chasing perfection here. We're learning how to live well with wisdom and grace in the bodies God gave us. As you grow in that understanding, you grow in confidence to live in the fullness of who you were created to be. If this conversation left you feeling encouraged and supported in your health, I'd love for you to leave a rating and review. We're not talking about health the way the world does, and your voice helps build this mission of empowering women to steward their health with faith, confidence, and truth. Make sure you're subscribed so we can keep walking this journey together. You're not in this alone. And keep going, Mama. Every small step you take today is leading you toward the healthier, more vibrant life God created you for. I'm cheering you on.